Welcome everyone to the February R-VII School Board of Education meeting. We have already established a quorum, so at this time I'm going to ask for an approval of our open session agenda.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Thank you. And now I'll take a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
All in favor? Thank you. Communications and reports.
We have no communication or reports for this month.
Okay.
None was submitted no public comment was submitted.
Okay. Okay. Next up, making a difference.
Yes, I'd like to recognize and congratulate Mr. Jake Doyle from the middle school. He is our Making a Difference Award winner for this month. A few things that were said from the staff over there. Mr. Doyle is a dedicated teacher, staff member, and coach. He goes above and beyond each day to ensure all kids are learning and involved. He goes above and beyond to provide our students opportunities. He does morning weights club for the school, participates in Special Olympics, basketball events with our functional learning students, and takes the functional learning students fishing, and has also brought archery to the middle school as well. Is always looking for fun activities to get the students involved inside and outside of school. Is teaching them skills that will carry over long into their adulthood. So Mr. Doyle, thank you for everything you've done and continue to do, and truly making a difference for our kids.
Thank you.
Next is the community champion.
Yes, and for this month, our community champion is the Concordia Bank, and they've got Ms. Fisher is here to accept that. Concordia Bank, they've demonstrated a strong commitment to serving the needs of students and families through generous donations, numerous sponsorships, and their highly anticipated tradition of providing snow cones on the last day of school. Their efforts bring both meaningful support and memorable moments for our school and our students. And so thank you for everything that you did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the big item, academic focus.
Mr. LeBou.
Cebu.
Well, thanks for having us out tonight, guys. You know, one of the things that's great about OU, there are a lot of great things about OU. One of the great things is we have a pretty wide variety of after-school clubs and activities. Tonight we're going to highlight our theater troupe. It's probably our largest group, engaging over 60 kids. It's entirely funded, and you can correct me on this, but through the Education Foundation, and then our PTO, school grants too. They work hard, they hustle, they apply for those grants, and they use all that to help keep the ball rolling there. And I would invite everybody in the springtime, I think it's the first part of May, to come out and watch it perform on a Saturday. It's exceptional to see the things that these kids do, working hard with the teachers right there beside them. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Roan. She's going to highlight for a little bit, and then we got video and maybe a little performance.
Okay. I just wanted to say we've been going. We've been going at this since 2015. So we've done a lot of productions. It kind of came about. Miss Tate, and she was going to share how it kind of came about.
OU Theater Troupe began one summer afternoon when Miss Lupins, Mr. Jones, and I decided that OU needed something big for the kids to do. We came up with a plan for a short little play to be done at Christmas time. So we came up with the name of the theater troupe, OUE Theater Troupe, and the decision was to play the Christmas Carol. When school started that fall, Miss Roan joined the group, and off we went. The play was so fabulous. The kids loved it. Everybody loved it. It was wonderful. We made sure that the whole OUE saw the play, so we bussed all of the third, fourth, and fifth graders over to the high school to watch the play. And the parents and the grandparents, we always made sure that they came for free so that nobody was left behind.
When we did that first play of the Christmas Carol, I just remember seeing some kids shine that maybe didn't have another place to shine. And it just made my heart happy to see them so excited to have something that they felt so great about. So after that, we got together again and decided that let's do something bigger next year. So then the next year, I believe we did Peter Pan, and we were able to get a bigger script. And this year, we held tryouts for over 100 kids. And we usually have a cast of about 40 to 50. But this year, the PTO granted us money to get a new script, and we got a Descendants script where we were able to have 60 kids. So we brought on some more adults, we've brought on a lot more kids, and we have a lot more kids who are going to be able to participate this year, and it's going to be a great time. One thing that I did want to say is that it's just so neat to watch these students gain their confidence, courage, how to be in front of a crowd. And a lot of our students have went on to perform for the high school and actually other theater productions. I actually had a bunch of middle school kids come into me this year, please, can we please be in the play? Because they've been so excited about doing this play for a couple of years. But it's a great program, it's great for the kids. It is absolutely wonderful for some kids who may not have something else that they feel like they shine in. So I highly recommend, if you're free the day we do our play, I believe it is May 9th on a Saturday this year. And if you have a free time or would like to come watch them, they're amazing, absolutely amazing. We perform, like she said, for the OUE students, and then we perform for the family. So they get to do a couple of big plays. So it's a lot of fun. So we have a little video for you.
To the core, yeah, I'm riding to the core. I'm riding to the core, yeah, who could ask for more? I'm nothing like the kid next, like the kid next door. I'm riding to the core, I'm riding to the...
The reason why I joined theater troupe was because I wanted to be in a club, and I wanted to try to be in a group and have fun with my friends, and just see what it would feel like to have fun with the movie Descendants. Like, I've never heard of the movie Descendants or have watched it, but I thought it would be fun to do it, and yeah.
So what I have learned in here and stuff is they like I had to practice lines and stuff in front of people, and it kind of just made me feel more comfortable with singing around people and stuff. And then when we started doing dances and stuff, well, they also taught me I felt more comfortable with other people, like me dancing around them and stuff, because I was in a group. And so and I kind of learned how to raise up my voice and when singing and dancing, don't talk too fast and stuff. And so now I'm kind of just not really scared to sing and talk in front of like a whole entire crowd. So they kind of prepared me for that. And when they taught me to dance for the dance things, I started feeling more comfortable about dancing in crowds and stuff. I kind of got used to it. So that's what I've learned.
I think theater troupe is fun because you get to sing and dance. The most fun part about singing is you get to hear yourself sing when you have your own lines, and it's fun because you get to hear yourself and you get to see if you're good or bad at singing. And the fun part about dancing is you get to dance as much as you want, and you also get to get your jiggles out. Another reason is because you also get to see all your friends and talk with them, and that's fun.
To show you a little scene from the play and a little bit of, so they're very excited. So if you're in the first scene. Just light up right here. Is that it? Okay. Okay, this is C1. Ordon. Belle and Beast's castle. I'm going to read. Ben, a classically regal, caring teen, looks out over his kingdom. The audience sings as he writes his speech. The road could be hard and the night could be dark, but like stars we shine brightly wherever we are. We stick to the dream, we'll never fall apart. 'Cause we're better together.
Queen Belle and King Adam. Ben, how is it possible you will be crowned next month? 16 is just a baby. And what does that make me? A has-been, darling. Grr, darling, grr.
Mom and Dad, you set the stage for me to take Ordon into the next generation. And with that in mind, I've chosen my first proclamation as king.
Ooh, do tell. Yes, finally.
When I look over the beautiful island, I always see the Isles of the Lost in the distance. They've been abandoned, and they deserve a second chance.
The Isle of the Lost? Okay.
So I decided the children of the Isles of the Lost should come here to live in Ordon.
Living among us? Are you mad? Now, I gave you a second chance, didn't I? He's never been to the Isle. He doesn't know what they're like.
For starters, they're not they. We can start with a test run. I've already picked 4 candidates.
See, now, our son is sensible. Now then, who are their parents?
Corilla DeVille.
Oh.
Jafar.
Oh.
Evil Queen.
Oh.
And Maleficent.
The children of our sworn enemies? No, I draw the line. Maleficent is the worst villain in the land. We have tried this kind of leniency before, and she nearly destroyed us.
But that was 20 years ago. We have to learn to live together now, or we'll be cursed to repeat the past.
She's guilty of unspeakable crimes.
Yes, but her daughter isn't. What if she could learn to be good?
Is this really the only way?
It's the only way. We haven't tried.
One chance, Ben. I may be giving up the crown for some well-deserved R&R, but I'm still your father. And if you do not succeed, Ordon will never reopen its walls again.
Then I better be right.
So that was our first scene, and then they have a dance for you, which is super cute. They've been working very hard. Miss Nance, do you want to come? Sure. We very much lucked out and got Miss Nance as a choreographer because none of us knew that she is great at it. Do you want to be here or in the middle? Do you think maybe in the middle? Yeah. Give them a little more space. You guys want to come?
Middle.
Middle? Okay.
Oh, there you go.
You're ready.
What
if? They've been practicing.
Seven. Half day.
Get it over.
Yes, take it easy. We're going to let you fix this. Let's do that. Hey, Graham, why don't you speak back over? Good? Are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's let us get this.
The choreography, is that included in, like, when you guys do the script, or you guys?
No, she's had to nice. She's had to work it off. Yeah, she's been great with
I'm
us.
never brave enough to do something like that. I don't know how it works.
Mr. Reynolds,
Yes.
can you introduce the students? please?
Oh, yes. You guys want to come on? Go back. Yeah. Right here. Come here. Go. Right here. Oh, I'm so confused. You guys want to introduce yourself? Gotta say it loud, Henry, okay? So we'll start here.
My name's Henry Martin.
What's your part in the play?
My part is Oradon.
Okay? He's a Ordon ensemble. Okay.
I'm Maggie. I play Corella as well. I'm Tegan. I'm an Oregon ensemble. I'm Isla. I'm Belle. My name is Poppy Fletcher. I'm King Beast.
My name is Graham House. I'm Ben.
How long does it take you guys to memorize your lines?
Like a couple.
A couple months.
So yeah, we come in. We practice. We have a practice Tuesday and Wednesday for an hour at a time, and we practice a lot. But they do a lot of practicing at home also. I would say most of these here probably have their lines memorized. I think and they're ready to go. But yeah, it does take a little bit of work.
Yeah, for sure.
It was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Baba.
So they can do this.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next item tonight, finance report.
Good evening. Well, thank you. 4 quick points. First of all, the Finance Department has distributed W-2s and 1099s to all employees and vendors and submitted the same files to the federal and state government, so the process is complete. Number 2, we are in the last third of the fiscal year, so we're getting really focused on potential budget amendments for the remainder of this fiscal year. Third, we're well into building the budget for the next fiscal year, working on revenues and expenditures and putting those calculations together. And last but not least, currently, we're working on fiscal year 27 salary proposals. So we should have those for you at a soon-to-come Board of Education meeting for your review.
Good. Any questions for Fred? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Construction report.
All right, so one thing we've noticed, the sunshine sure does seem to make things a little bit brighter around here, so happy to see that. Last week, Odessa had a very strong representation at the Powerful Learning Conference that was held down at the Lake of the Ozarks. We had 18 staff that were able to go down there. Every person that went was able to take away something, and it was super exciting. We got to have lunch together at the end of it, and just hearing the classroom teachers, the administrators, what they took away and what they were excited to implement their new learnings. So I do want to say thank you to our PDC for allowing the staff the opportunity to attend. They covered those costs. Friday, we have a district professional development day. So we'll be using this time to provide breakfast for staff, and the foundation will be presenting grant recipients. McQuarrie and Upper will be meeting with an R-VII trainer to learn about a new reading resource that was just released. So if you remember last year, we did just sign a 1-year contract for our K-5 ELA resource because we knew that this new resource was coming out. The new resource encompasses reading comprehension, foundations such as phonics and phonemic awareness, vocabulary. It includes grammar and writing, which we are missing as a piece. So we are going to be learning about that new resource. Middle school staff will be diving into their standards and working with their curriculum alignment, while high school will be meeting with our DCI facilitators. Last thing I have is there is currently legislation with a focus on an A through F report card grading for school districts. So there are no details that have been determined yet, but the State Board of Education, legislators, and the governor are all in support of this A through F grading system for school districts. So this could come into effect as soon as this year. So as the bill continues to go through legislation, we will provide all of that information that we get. Dr. Odinger and I sat in on a Zoom, was that yesterday? There's still a lot of unknowns, but wanted to make you guys aware that that is happening. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Next is our special services report.
Okay. On January 30th, the students participated in the Snowball Shootout that was held in Lexington. This event provided students with the opportunity to engage in inclusive basketball activities, build social connections, and demonstrate teamwork in a supportive environment. The Snowball Shootout was open to students from McQuarrie, OUE, OMS, and OHS. Looking ahead, the students will participate in the Cupid Classic on February 12th, this Thursday, in Higginsville from 9 to 1:30. This inclusive event will allow students to continue engaging in basketball activities and social opportunities alongside peers from other districts. The Cupid Classic is only open to OMS and OHS students. In addition, the Special Education Department will host the Job Olympics on April 8th at Berry Acres. Planning is currently underway, including reaching out to neighboring districts to determine participation, developing a schedule of activities, and we are in the process of ordering and preparing supplies to ensure a successful and engaging event for our students. The department also hosted its first Sweetheart Dance for our FLP students. The event was intentionally structured to meet the developmental and engagement needs of our students across our programs. Early childhood and McQuarrie students participated in a dance time, a bingo zone, crafts, and snacks. OUE and OMS and OHS students participated in a combination of dance and movie time, bingo zone, crafts, and lunch. The event provided a meaningful opportunity for socialization, inclusion, and community building among our students. In addition to student activities, the department has continued to focus on compliance and reporting requirements. Tiered monitoring documentation has been completed, and I have already submitted it to DESE. The department is now finalizing, and we're preparing to submit our initial referral data, as well as our Part C to Part B transition numbers to ensure continued alignment with state reporting expectations. We continue to support students and staff, providing inclusive opportunities, maintaining our compliance with state and federal expectations.
very much.
Okay.
That's the update. Operations report.
Okay, just a few items I'll touch on. Recent projects completed in the wood gym, the light switches that we've discussed previously. That goes with that, the ag project, those parts are ordered through the company and they hope to be able to do that early in March out there in the shop. The roof project that was approved last month, no movement on that other than POs are submitted, everything's in progress, but no dates for that yet. Safety and security, working through updating the emergency operations plan on the platform through the Center for Education Safety. Along with that, myself and Mr. LeBou will be attending the School Safety Academy this summer. So it's a 3-day academy for school personnel, SROs, a variety of people, but he and I will be attending that, a 3-day conference this summer to ramp that up.
Where's that at?
The summer one is at Margaritaville.
Statewide.
Yeah. They do one in the fall and one in the winter too, but it's easier not to have to leave during the school year, so. And then lastly, food service. The DESI administrative review is ongoing. Brad and I both have submitted things, paperwork ahead of time, and their on-site portions scheduled for the 24th of this month. They'll be here checking it out. All right there.
Superintendent report.
Yeah, the board reports are in your packet for your review and a few other things. Ballots for the April 7th election have been submitted to both counties. That includes a ballot for board members as well as a no tax increase bond issue and the capital levy. So far, the legislative session, they've seen a record number of bills. A lot of those pertain to and impact public education. Several bills aimed at decreasing property tax, lowering the cap from 5% to 3% on growth, also including new construction under the Hancock Amendment, so it would count towards a year's growth, which would impact the amount of local funding you would get. Senate Bill 863, this bill requires the governor to appoint a board of directors to oversee, basically to oversee MSHA. Currently, right now, MSHA does have a board of member districts, but the governor would like to appoint a board to oversee them and all activities associated with MSHA. Open enrollment, this has been one for several years, continues to be on the list of priorities. A little different this year. The primary sponsor in the past has been Brad Pollitt out of Sedalia, but his bill's not getting any traction. There are a couple other bills out of the Senate. The biggest difference at this point is the bills right now that have gained traction would require participation of all districts. In the past, it's been an option if a district wanted to opt in or not, but right now it's looking like if the legislation were to go through, it would require all districts to be a part of it. There's also already a omnibus bill. Usually this happens towards the end of session where they'll throw a bunch of things as it pertains to education and or other things. But right now they've already started a bill that has several components. Some of the things that I've talked about before are included in there. A lot of them impact funding at the state and local level, so it's definitely something to be watching for. Finally, with our snow days, as of right now, we don't have to make up any hours. We have the number of hours needed, but if we do miss any more time due to inclement weather, we will have to start making time up. So, any questions? Okay.
Let's move on to our discussion items tonight. The first is the elementary building update.
Dr. Fagan.
Yeah, so just a few, I'm gonna really just focus on the dates for our upcoming meetings tonight. Not a lot of movement other than that as far as things going on with the project. But just kind of to have this out there so everybody knows. So the Chamber of Commerce is meeting this Friday that we will discuss the project. The Rotary Club and Spring Fling, both in March. Of course, the Spring Fling is an event here that has the senior citizens of the community here on site. The dates you see down there for the community presentation dates, those are all three at Macquarie Elementary in the evening, February 17th, March 3rd, and March 31st. And then the Mayview Lions Club, their monthly meeting on the March the 17th, they've invited the Mayview community to that as well, for them to have that opportunity, and that'll be at the Mayview School on the 17th. So looking forward to hopefully having a lot of people involved with those and being able to answer any questions that we can and provide all the information about language, the financing possibilities for the project. So look forward to it and hope a lot of communities able to attend.
Have I heard anything out of the MoDOT being truthful?
Oh, yeah. So we have not been waiting on them all this time. That was a misunderstanding on my part. They have had the information now. They expect a 5-week turnaround, IDS does, from MoDOT, which is this is the 3rd week now. So I was under the impression that the engineering firm had given all that to them. They were finalizing on their end prior to MoDOT having that. So that's my fault. But they do expect in the next 2 to 3 weeks to have the preliminary information back from MoDOT. At that time, then, really it's a whether MoDOT agrees with the traffic study at this point, and then they have the opportunity to ask questions of the firm. They can respond on what the kind of preliminary thoughts are of traffic flow for the area, and then if they don't like the information or if they want more information, then closer to time and design, there would be an additional study done, or perhaps do it a different way, or if MoDOT wants something different or wants to see other results or counts, then they can get those at that time. So I do expect to have at least that preliminary information back from MoDOT by the next meeting, and then usually they said they have a week or so to respond to those, to MoDOT, to then get further information back.
And that's just an initial, kind of any mechanisms that they would propose to deal with traffic at the intersections.
Yep. So
based
the
on their
report,
counts and their.
based on the counts and things that they've suggested, like, things like a westbound right turn lane off 00.
Right.
That's in the report. So, assuming MoDOT thinks that's enough, then that would be good to go. If they thought there needed to be a left turn lane eastbound, then they would suggest that and perhaps ask for more counts on the next time around. So.
As far as the construction for the turning lanes, MoDOT would obviously own that since it's their right of way, right?
I think so, but I think that would be at our expense, but then they would maintain it after that. Maintain.
Be responsible for construction.
But they would comply with our timelines as far as like opening the building? Is that part of like the contract that we have with them?
With?
Just making sure that it's constructed by the time the building is ready to be occupied?
I think that we would hire.
Oh, I think, we would be in charge of the construction of it, the sub, everything involved with it. Once they said that that's what we needed to do and said go, then it would be up to us to get it done.
You just have to allow their specifications.
Just at their specs,
I was under the impression MoDOT would own the construction of it. We would just like reimburse them for the work.
Oh, no, we would construct it and then they would take over after that.
Okay.
Yeah, they get some input on like how to go to construction, like temporary traffic control and safety related to that.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's all on us to get it constructed safely.
And even out here, like when we put this drive out onto 00 from to the south here, we just had to submit the specs for it and they okayed it. And then once it was constructed, they came out and looked at it and gave it the final approval on the design of that and line of sight and where it went and all that.
Okay.
Okay, if there's nothing else on the elementary, we move on to the district academic supports.
Yes. I'm gonna come stand over here because I am gonna use the screen. Do what? Oh, no, if you can just click.
Okay, I can click.
So, as it's our goal, our mission, our vision, we want to be the educational leader as best that we can. So our goal is to improve and have the highest student success as possible. So at this time, I did just want to kind of go over a few initiatives, supports, as you will, that we currently have in place to get the ball rolling. We've got the tracks, the laid foundation down. I just want you to see kind of what we're doing behind the scenes, that we are working really hard, all of our teams, to make sure that we are becoming that educational leader. So just a fun quote that I found: the purpose of learning is growth, and our minds, unlike our bodies, can continue growing as we continue to live. So as educators, we are lifelong learners. Our work is never finished. We're going to keep going. So these are our current supports that we currently do have in place. So we are partnered with a couple different, I don't know the word I want to use, companies, I guess, supports, programs. So DCI, District Continuous Improvement. We have educational leadership, instructional leadership, professional development provided to us, and then also Success Ready Student Network. So I will dive into those a little bit more and paint a picture of how they all work together. So we've got our train here. Our curriculum writing and our curriculum standards alignment have really, those were our train tracks. Those are our foundations. That's what we're teaching. We need to make sure we're hitting all of our required standards in the classrooms. DCI is what's driving our district currently. So they are the framework. They are the systems that we are learning that a school district must have in place to be successful. These systems we are working on implementing so that the train can keep on pulling all the other boxcars. So we have instructional leadership PD that is supporting DCI as well. This is building leadership capacity in our district leaders and building leaders. And then Success Ready Student Network are the strategies and collaboration that we have with other networks and districts as well. So this is an outline of what District Continuous Improvement is. They provided us this image back this time last year. We had our building principals do some professional development with DCI just to learn about what it is. So it is a little roadmap. It all goes back to increased student success. So we have district leadership teams, we have communication protocols that are set within all of our teams that we have in the district. We are committed to the framework, we are invested, this is going to work. We use data, we are coaching others to get better, and then once we start seeing all that improvement, the next step would then be to how do we get to sustain the momentum that we have created. So DCI is broken into 4, I call them pillars. Jenny and Kyra are going to pass out. Right now our district is really just focusing on these first 2. So these handouts, it's another little visual that kind of help explain what collaborative teams are and what database decision making is. So collaborative teams in all of our buildings, now at this point, they're meeting weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. They have set agendas. I like to use the analogy, we've gone from talking about who's bringing what to the potluck next week to using data to make decisions for specific students in our classroom. So right now, our focus in each building is strengthening our collaborative teams, getting them down on weekly, bi-weekly, monthly meetings, getting our protocols, our agenda set, to then really start diving into data more and more to use that to change, adjust, drive the instruction that we see in our classroom to give students exactly what they're needing. So then once these are sustained and up and going, then the next steps we would focus on were common formative assessments and then developing assessment capable learners, which when we get there, I will go into that. Yes?
Is every single teacher involved in a collaborative team?
Yes. In some sort of way, yes. Yes, and each building is in a different place. Obviously, the ultimate goal at the end of the day, we're all going to be in the same place. But we all started somewhere different. So, but at this point, yes, we do have, every building has teams created where all teachers are involved in one. Next one. So instructional leadership is another piece of the puzzle that we have, and this is mainly professional development for our leaders. So building principals, assistant principals, district leadership. So We have been provided professional development through DCI, so they are still coming in and meeting about quarterly with our leadership team, where we're at, how it's going. They ask what we need from them, so we actually met with them at the beginning of January. Hey, here's where we're at, here's what we're needing a little bit more of. And then we are also partnered, we are part of the Show Me Curriculum Administrators Association, SMCAA for short, all the acronyms. And so we actually have someone from this partnership coming in and doing professional development with our building leaders to focus on our curriculum and instruction, help us identify what the next steps are in terms of looking at our current curriculum, what are we missing, are we on the right track, kind of helping us do like an audit of where we're at. So this piece is just building capacity in our leaders, so they are provided with the knowledge and support they need, so then they can go support the teachers in the classroom. And then the last piece of this is Success Ready Student Network. This is the organization that we applied to and got accepted. They really focus on that real world personalized learning. Right now, we are just kind of taking it one step at a time. There have been a couple Zoom meetings that building administrators and I have sat in on. We are just listening to other districts, getting ideas from them. So in a sense, it is another piece of professional development for us, but it's giving us really good ideas, and it's fostered some conversations of, this would be really cool if we could do this. This district did this, they have these partnerships, it looks like this, how can we make that work here? So that has been pretty enlightening, just hearing what other districts are doing. It's the collaboration and support with others is really the biggest piece of the Success Ready Student Network. Once we get our collaborative teams in place, our database decision making, once we get common assessments across the board, we can then really start diving into personalized learning for each and every student.
When you're benchmarking with those other districts, are there common resources that they have access to that we aren't providing? Are those things coming
We
up?
have found, the last Zoom that we had, a lot of the districts that we got into a breakout session with were the big districts like Liberty, Kearney up in the city, so they do have access to more like partnerships, organizations, businesses, but it did kind of just get our mind thinking, what do we have available here that we can partner with? So that's kind of the stage where we're at, like, okay, they can do all these things, how do we modify that to meet our specific needs?
Are these all three public, I guess, public entities? Or are they private?
DCI's through DESE.
Okay.
So that's supported through DESE. The SMCAA is just, I don't know that it's supported by DESE. It's supported by DESE, but.
So are all of them like aligned with are all of them familiar with like our assessments that we're
Yes.
using? Or
Yes.
how we use iReady?
Yes, they're all current and or retired Missouri educators.
Okay.
Yes, it's extremely familiar. So how do all of these work together to move the needle? So kind of back to the train analogy that we had. DCI is setting the direction, so the specific 4 pillars, what are we trying to improve and what's the roadmap for that? The instructional leadership PD is ensuring that our leaders can execute, so again, it's building capacity in our building leaders so that they can help support teachers in the classroom. And then the Success Ready Student Network is supporting the strategy and the collaboration with other districts. Sorry, I guess I should give you the thing. So with these 3 supports in place, we should see progress in stronger Tier 1 instruction across all of our classrooms, better use of data and PLC time, improved student achievement and readiness outcomes, and more consistent expectations from school to school. I think there's one more after this. So the best way to predict the future is creating it, so I believe that we are taking the small but appropriate steps, the ones that are the most powerful, getting our biggest bang for our buck in creating the future that we want the Odessa School District to be.
Is this the first time we've used these tools in, that you know of?
That I know of, yes.
Yes,
That's kind
since
of
I've been here.
this is our action item, right? This is what do we need to do more than that we haven't been doing, or more can we do, so this is the product of that, that's the way I see this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, 100%.
And how much longer will we have a partnership with DCI?
For as long as we need them.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if it was like a 2-year we come in and try to measure these.
I think we just, from my conversations with our facilitators, we have our frequent check-ins just to make sure they're giving us the support that we need, and they want to help us sustain that too.
Okay.
So they say they will be with us as long as we want them. And they have DCI in particular, our facilitators. We've got 2 that focus on Macquarie and Upper, and 2 that focus on middle school and high school. I've met with the 4 of them kind of all separately, and they love being in our district. They've gotten the opportunity to meet the principals and go into classrooms, meet teachers, and have given us such great feedback that they're super excited to be here and thankful that they're here.
Good opportunity, I think, to get that outside view of the
Absolutely.
district.
Absolutely. That's all I've got on that one.
Okay, thank you. Assuming you've got the next one, the iReady update?
I do. I do. So we have our middle of year iReady growth. So again, I have asked Jenny and Kyra to be here. We've focused the last couple of weeks really looking at our iReady data. We have met with each building, principals, gone over the data, created some action steps, what we're going to do with the data. So the report that I have for you tonight, we now have enough data to follow the cohorts to create and identify different trends. So by going through all of our cohort data, we can use the trends to then target specific professional development and support each individual grade level essentially needs. You can go to the next one. So let me know what questions you have as I go through this. I mean, I'll kind of just highlight the greens. That's really what we want to focus on. We want to see as much green as possible because that means our kids are on grade level. So kindergarten, obviously, first year that they've taken this. You can see where they started out at the beginning of the year. This is ELA, this is math, how much they've grown just from beginning of the year to middle of the year. This is so super exciting. We're halfway through the school year and we've got, 77% of our kids exactly where they need to be. That shows they're learning their foundational skills. Every kindergarten classroom has an aligned resource. They're hitting standards. They're doing it consistently, daily. I'm getting goosebumps. This is just so exciting. Like, we're doing something right. Then kindergarten math, again, also keep in mind, ELA, we've had a aligned resource in K-5 for our second year. Math, brand new resource. We see growing pains. That's going to be normal, but there are still some highlights. Not to spoil anything. But again, huge growth here too. So we've got first grade. So this is their current first graders. They were kindergartners last year. So something that obviously we did notice, there is summer slide. So again, this was middle of the year last year. End of the year was, say here, we did have summer slide starting at the beginning of the year. So keep that in mind. There is some typical regression, but there still is growth. And then current first grade math. So making some gains. Our green's moving in the right direction. So second grade ELA, they took it in kindergarten, took it in first grade, took it in second grade.
You'll notice that red doesn't show up until second grade. Red is 3 or more levels below, so there isn't the ability to be red until you're in second grade. So it's not like all of a sudden these kids turned red on us.
And then if you point out that, like, the summer slide you're talking about is between, like, where are you identifying?
So, and this is a poor representation because, like, here there would be, like, our spring window. So next time I'll remember I can put all 3 benchmarks here.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's on trend, so at the end of first grade, say we had, green went to this much. So the summer slide would be, you would want your green at the beginning of the year just to go straight up to, that they retained all the information that they learned in first grade. But you can see, like, we started the year at 7%, when at middle of the year last year, they were at 14% in the green hash.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. I was just trying to get that in my head around, each assessment is where they need to be by the end of that year. And so as soon as you go to the next second grade, really, does it correlate, like, you're judged against what needs to happen in
Yes.
second grade versus where you need to be at in first grade.
The better way to look at summer slide is probably to focus more on the red, is that, yes, because like the yellow means that they are either one grade level, or they're like, I-ready would describe as they are very much ready to learn what we're putting down for them. So yellow means they are ready, they may be like, in March of the previous grade level, but like they're ready to learn what we're learning. Red would be they are a grade level behind. And so a kid could end up in the green, meaning on grade level by the end of the year. But then, so a third grader, let's say they end up in the green on grade level. But when they go into fourth grade, and we're talking fourth grade, now they're a yellow child.
To be in yellow.
But it's like their score could be within a point or two of each other. And that's where our teachers are really good at digging into the on-level data. And now that we have 3 years of data, we're tracking each student. So there are some students that will look at and say, they always lose about 20 points in August, and like they're going to get it back. And then there are other students like, they've never lost this many points in August. Let's dig into that a little bit more.
Is that 3 years of data, I'm sorry, for ELA and math, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this is our third year that we've had I-ready as our diagnostic assessment.
Okay.
Yes. So our current second graders are the first ones that took it kindergarten first and second. So, again that. So current third grade ELA. Here, huge growth here. So definitely something to celebrate. And then third grade math. Current fourth grade ELA. Current fourth grade math. Fifth grade ELA, please stop me if any questions come up. Current fifth grade math. That's our current sixth grade ELA, and again, so just as a reminder, this is the first year in 610 in this instance, that they have had ELA and math, an aligned resource in place here.
Sorry, this is the first year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, which, again, something to celebrate, we're seeing growth. So, big celebrations. And so when we did meet with each building, we did dive into the grade level, the teachers, their individual classes, and really dove into specific like student type data, classroom type data.
And what about the math curriculum for 6 to 12? Like how many years?
This is our first year with that too.
Okay, so math and
So-
ELA 6 to 12 is
Yes.
new this year. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So, again, outside looking in, we're seeing growth, progress, like from, this beginning of the year to this middle of the year, we want to see student growth. That's what we're really looking at. In the overall picture, our students learning, that's our ultimate goal. So a focus this year, so it gives you typical growth and stretch growth. Typical growth is what every student should typically learn in 1 year's time. That means that they're going to then be ready for next year. Our focus this year is that stretch growth, because when a student hits that stretch growth for 2 years in a row, they're more likely to get back on grade level. That's what's closing the gaps. So again, we're focusing on that stretch growth. We're going to get rid of that red. So we are actually we've identified classroom teachers and classes that hit a 50% stretch growth at middle of the year, and we are going to recognize them this week. with a Stretch for Sonic success, so they get a little note and a Sonic drink for their specific class hitting that stretch growth, because it is hard work. Teaching kids is hard, and they're doing good. They're doing the right thing.
What's the message going out to parents with this?
The message
Do
going
we
out to
have any
parents.
message? I mean, we have these stretch growth goals.
We do.
You know, we gotta hit it from both fronts.
Absolutely. And I think that's something we can probably improve in. I think we do a good job at the beginning of the year. We give beginning of the year diagnostic data at parent-teacher conferences. You know, we try to have those personal, in-person conversations. We typically middle of the year, end of the year, just send it home. So I think that's something that we could definitely look at to how do we strengthen that communication.
So the parents do get this data on their individual kids?
Yes.
There's a special for families report that gives them their beginning of the year and middle of the year with the growth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it tells you, you know, your student's very good in number and operations, but maybe needs some work in geometry. So it drills down to specific domains.
And our parents with students with reading success plans, so reading success plans are an elementary thing only. We have a special report that they get to see the growth from the last 3 years. So they're able to see what's happening when that child maybe received title services, when they've come out of title services. And it is really cool. There are some, especially second and third graders, that we are seeing some really amazing jumps, that their graphs are really fun to look at.
That's awesome.
That's what I have on I-Ready. We'll take it again beginning of May, mid-May, before school gets out, and that'll be our next benchmark. And
Some growth.
that's our focus.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes.
We're gonna let her stay there one
They're
gonna do AMI.
a little bit longer.
AMI?
Yes, so AMI, Alternative Methods of Instruction. So in the July, or at the July board meeting, we did get approval to submit an application to DESE to utilize an AMI day. At that time, we did not have a plan in place. Our district, we've never utilized it. So myself, instructional coaches have kind of just been tag teaming throughout the year. What could this look like for Odessa? And I think we finally have something that could work to utilize if we knew in advance that there was inclement weather or whatever reasoning that school would not be in session. So, again, I've asked them to be here to assist, guide, and field any questions you may have. So, I want to break it up into a plan for K-5 and then a plan for 6-12. So, to reiterate, if we utilized an AMI day, we would only call it if we knew well in advance, like there's a very extreme high possibility that we would not be able to learn in person. So for instance, what was a couple weeks ago when we knew that big storm system was moving in, we knew that like Tuesday and Wednesday. By the time we left Friday, we were like, well, we probably won't see each other on Monday. For example, that would be an instance of this. So, knowing in advance, I'm going to start with K-5. The goal is to continue student learning just as if they were here in school. K-5, they would go home the day before, we probably wouldn't be back in session, with a packet of work. This would essentially be 60 to 90 minutes of work in ELA, math, writing or fine motor, content area, and specials. So this could look like each classroom does have student workbooks for the ELA and math, tearing out our workbook page that we'd be working on tomorrow. Doing any type of review, essentially what the next day's lesson plan was going to be. Specials would create, like for as an example, a choice board. And I'm just thinking, draw a picture of what you did on your day. Read with a parent for 20 minutes. Do 50 jumping jacks. Kind of just a variety of activities to make sure we're hitting each content area. Questions on that? What the work would look like. Teachers, and this will go for all teachers K-12, but teachers would be expected by 9 a.m. to send a message to families. Hey, I'm available, here's my email, let me know if you have any questions. Teachers would respond within an hour of receiving that email to make sure that communication is tight and they're getting responses back. Am I missing anything from K-5? Okay. 6-12, we would not do the hard copy paper packets. 6-12 would be sent home with a device. Each classroom utilizes Google Classroom in a school classroom in person. So again, it would essentially be tomorrow's lessons being pushed out onto the teacher's Google Classroom. All the students have access to it. Again, they utilize it. They know how to do it. They would just post their assignment by 9 a.m., be available to help as needed. Am I missing anything?
So teachers,
6-12.
see, teachers are expected to be available through certain, is there a stated hours, or is it just starting at 9 a.m.?
Starting at 9 to 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually like the idea of this, because I feel like you get, we have these benchmarks with R-VII and stuff, and these dates are kind of specific, hey, this has to
Sure.
happen. So it's important that these teachers get through the curriculum in the, the time period they have versus adding a week or two at the end of school to make up a bunch of days. These kids are checked out and basically, I hate to use the term babysitter,
Right.
but you almost like a babysitter because you're like, we've done all our testing,
Right. Right.
what am I gonna do with these extra days? So I do like this.
We're able to get more instruction focus this time of year than versus say we have another snow day, we have to come back that Monday. Like in historical, our attendance is a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So bringing up attendance, so students will be counted present for the day as long as they return the next day that they're in session with their completed work. Teachers will be expected to give some grace time. You're gonna have, kids that may have been at home by themselves and couldn't do it. If 6-12 didn't have internet access, giving kids grace to get it completed when we do return, some wiggle room. But as long as the work gets completed, then they're counted present for the school day.
But there was some support if communicated in advance for lack of internet, right?
Yes. So again, we would know in advance if we were planning to utilize an AMI day. So if a teacher or administrator hears, I don't have internet at home, we can provide a hotspot or even print them out a paper copy so that they would have either or.
I can't imagine that teachers would not be willing to be understanding either if you had a kid that just, didn't get it done or whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and they know these kids, so you're exactly right.
And there's no issue with reporting on attendance wise if it's like backdated?
No.
Okay, like they can go into last week and mark someone as present?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I think we kind of discussed the easiest way is gonna be counting everyone present. And then, say 2 weeks go by and the student still has not turned in this work for my class, I'm gonna email the secretary, hey, they were absent this day.
Okay.
I personally think this is something we're going to have to try and see if it works. Because I could see this going both ways.
Is it gonna be perfect the first time? Absolutely not.
I just personally, with what we're trying to do and how we're trying to stay on target, I could see us getting off target with our academics. Especially if we miss 2 or 3 days in a row. And I don't think we have too many extra days, do we? But I think it's worth trying. I mean,
I know you talked earlier about, networking like with other schools and stuff. I'm assuming you guys have met with some of the other districts that have already implemented some of these things and talked about like what works, what doesn't work, and.
100%, yep.
And you guys have the discretion too, if we're off 3 days in a row, to use an AMI on Monday, but then Tuesday and Wednesday to not. It should just be off, yeah.
And to reiterate, if this is an early morning and we're driving roads, that's not gonna be an AMI day, because the kids wouldn't have to work.
Yeah.
That would be a school day.
does it, an AMI day, I mean, it's different for an elementary child than it is a high school.
For sure.
I mean, they could kind of keep up. I guess they could. I mean, you know what I mean? It would,
I think there's a parental.
With the laptops,
where-
right on, but I mean, I'm just saying, the 3-day deal with a high school kid is a lot more easy attainable than it is with an elementary child.
For sure.
Or catch up, or whatever you wanna say, or just work on the content area you need to. I mean, is there a possibility of doing it with one part of our school, not the others? Have just AMI days for our high school kids and not,
I don't know that I would wanna separate
Do
that,
that?
cause then you're gonna start getting into some having to make up and some not,
Gotcha.
being in the same household.
okay.
I guess the beauty of the Google Classroom, well, I mean, I'm thinking about like the small kids that
Right.
really need somebody there to
Yes.
guide them and to stay on task. I guess that would be more supplemented with the Google Classroom type stuff to keep them, I don't know, I guess I just,
One thing we had discussed is like with the younger children, really using it as a time of review. I mean, as you were looking through the graphs just now, you see we have plenty of kids that are still in that yellow and red. And so, for instance, like right now, our kindergarten students are starting to read diagraphs, we call it like 4-letter words. But they've been working on like the cat, bat, sat. And so they were able to do that more independently in December. So some of those kids are still working on what we would call like fluency with that, getting through that fast. And so it would be very beneficial for them to sit there with words that are below where their teacher would have them, but still just get that fluency and repetition with those words. So it's like it would be independent for them with a parent, but it's like, you know, a couple weeks behind where we are in the classroom, if that makes sense. And so when we think of like our K2 learners, I don't think we would be taking them to like 3-digit minus 2-digit subtraction for our second graders, where it's like, we are still working on that. They would do more of the, hey, like, let's work on our families of 10 and 20 and numbers to 100 to like make sure that those foundational skills are really solidified so that we can continue building on them when you come back.
but I think and what you were getting at is, I think there still has to be, with small kids, somebody there.
Yes, they're not gonna read the directions on a worksheet and be like, I know exactly what to do
Right.
with this thing, yes. Yeah.
I also have, the way that you sell everything in this program, you know, traditionally, all parents and kids, it's a snow day. And so in order to have them buy into it and make sure that everybody really accepts what we're doing, it's gonna be a whole sea change, isn't it? Because people didn't do anything on snow days. They went and like, oh, it's a snow day. And so in order to sell this, to really make it work, it's gonna take a whole community. Let's go with that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
And is the expectation, this isn't necessarily a one-for-one snow day, snow days are now AMI days, right? I mean, it's a discretionary decision, once we get up to potentially a certain amount of time missed.
So the most you can use in AMI is 36 hours. So the most number of AMI days we would use would be 5.
Got it.
If we used that many, I would kind of be surprised.
Yeah, 'cause you gotta
Just
know
because a
when
lot of
you're-
your snows are not predicted. You know, the one 2 weeks ago, I probably on Thursday would have sat down and had a conversation with Amanda or Roger and say, okay, what do we need to do to start preparing? Because that could be an AMI situation. And if it doesn't transpire and the snow never comes on the weekend, they're coming back, you know.
I think it makes me feel good that you wouldn't be covering new content during the snow day, because I wouldn't want the kid that doesn't have Wi-Fi or the kid that doesn't have a
Absolutely.
parent home to like fall further behind because they're at a disadvantage.
100%, yes. It would just be just that extra time to review, to master those skills that they've already learned.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, trying it. I think I like the idea of getting this stuff in, the content in ahead of the testing at the end versus afterwards. But I think we'll just have stuff to learn as we go.
100%. We're ready for that. Prepared.
Will this come back as an action item? or
It
anything?
doesn't need to because it's already been approved through the application.
So when would this be effective then? When we would next week?
The next inclement weather day that we know is coming.
Okay.
Next week, it's supposed to get back up into the sixties, so probably not. But maybe the week after, you never know.
Just want everybody prepared whenever they.
Phone calls start.
So we do have a plan. I am gonna go to each building on Friday on our professional development day and answer any and all questions that staff will have. So this information will be given to them. They'll have an opportunity to ask any questions, get anything clarified so that they feel prepared to have this implemented. And then communication will also go home to families.
Thank you very much. Skip the bus.
Man, if you just want to stay up, you're doing such a good job.
Thanks.
Again, this year, we're planning to hold the Stuff the Bus initiative that we've done for the last several years. We've been able to purchase a lot of supplies for students as a result of doing this. Additionally, in addition to the supplies, there's been a lot of financial donations. And with those, we've been able to continue to provide supplies all year long for teachers and students that they might need. We'll start accepting donations in May through August as we've done the last few years and distribute the items as we get them and the funds as they're needed.
And we covered several grants that aren't funded.
Yeah, so the last,
through this, right?
yeah, the last couple of years, we've been able to fund the grants that were not funded by the foundation teacher grants. So, which actually I think Henry's been on that every year on that selection for the last few years. We've seen more teacher grants because more are getting funded, I think.
I think so too, yeah.
So, I think it's been a good thing. So, just letting everyone know.
All right, let's move on to action items. Girls flag football.
Yeah, this was presented as a discussion in January. I've asked Ms. Bagshaw to be here to answer any questions that you might have come up with, but would recommend moving forward with this, so it would start this spring yet.
It's quick.
So,
Yeah, I second.
No questions for you, Sherry. All right, all in favor? Motion carried. Now, wait, powerlifting.
Yeah, again, this was presented last month, and she's here to answer questions that you guys might have.
so moved.
All in favor? Thank you. All
Hold
general.
on 1 second. Sorry, Sherry. Well, I don't want you to be here and not have any questions.
I've been here anyway.
I know. So powerlifting and girls flag football, NOB has both of them already. Why do you think that they're getting these types of like newer sports before other local districts?
I think it's just a choice. I mean, you know, when I go and talk at the R-VII meetings, a lot of those athletic directors, they don't want to add something, another sport, you know, but we just had such a big push for it. The girls, you know, 57 girls showed up at the first meeting. I mean, you know, we just had that, and I think our girls were vocal, and this is something they really wanted to do and be a part of, and so I really think that's it. Like Oak Grove's coming on, more schools are going to come on board. It's just gonna get more and more popular. And powerlifting, Coach Ron has really brought that and got the kids really excited about that. And so we've just had a lot of kids that aren't involved in some other sports are getting involved in these things, especially like the powerlifting. We've got kids that don't play any sports that are doing powerlifting, and so that's anytime we can get them involved in other things, you know, then they might join a sport, you know. So it's just been, the turnout for both has just been real positive. A lot of chatter in the hallways about it.
Oh, add on, with respect to Knob Noster, you have a lot of kids coming in from other states that have those activities.
They've experienced them somewhere else.
Oh, okay, thank you for calling that out.
Yeah,
I was trying to
true.
put the correlation together.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, thanks.
We've got a lot of money rolling down there right now.
Well, that too, but kids coming in that have.
Yeah, they do.
That are participating in those activities from other states.
Okay, makes sense.
Good point, yeah.
Sorry, Cole. I didn't mean to do
I think you already voted.
I think we've already voted for that,
Yep.
guys.
We'll go on to the Dollar General Literacy Foundation grant.
Yeah, the high school would like to apply for the Dollar General Literacy Foundation grant. If awarded, the grant would provide resources to support reading interventions here at the high school. Mr. Shepherd and Ms. McMahon are here to answer any questions that you guys might have about that. It's 100% no match on the district's behalf.
So moved.
Discuss. All in favor? Thanks for coming for questions. FFA grant.
We support it.
So, again, the FFA would like to submit for the semester-long Living to Serve grant. High school ag department would like to apply for this. It's a service learning grant that they would implement in the community, and I believe Ms. Veets got confirmation from the parks that you'd be working with them for a betterment project, and she is here as well as Mr. Shepherd to answer any questions you might have about that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, excuse me. Athletic trainer job descriptions?
Yeah, so with the district looking to move away from contracting the athletic trainer position like we have for several years and hiring that position as a district staff, in order to do that first, we need to have a job description for that position. And if this is approved by the board, then the position would be posted.
Is this some other districts, some districts have this on staff?
Yeah, and more recently with the changes that, we work with CERC upstream right now, and changes that they've made in the last 2 years, a lot of districts have moved away from that.
Okay.
Going in-house and making it their own position.
And did we check just legally, with any risks that we're assuming?
Yeah, Dr. Fagan had confirmation from music that they're covered as anyone else with anything else that we have.
Okay.
I'm good with it. I just had a quick question. How do you prioritize where they go when there's multiple?
It's
events?
usually the most, the contact of the sport. Like, if we have a home football game and softball going on at the same,
Yep.
then she's gonna be at football with a walkie-talkie that she can instantly, and we provide her with a golf cart or something that she can get up there.
Got it.
She doesn't travel with the
Got it.
teams, it's just all home events.
Got it. Thank you.
Football, she does travel with football.
Okay.
Motion, I made a motion.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor? Firefly Supported Living and Employment Services.
Yeah, so this was a program that we first engaged with last year. Jonna is here. If you have any questions, if you want to just give them a brief rundown, they've got all the information, but
So Firefly has changed their criteria from juniors and seniors to seniors only. So only our seniors can do it. We have to have at least 4. Time has checked into that, made sure that we would have 4 students to be able to participate in the program. Went over really well last year. The kids were a lot of fun. And Time could answer any questions for last year.
and the work experience for those kids, I think, heard nothing but good things from the people, our staff members that they worked with and worked around, had nothing but good things to say about, the kids and the efforts that they put in and what they were doing. So definitely worth the time to do.
They were a fun team. They made a really cool team.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? 2026 Summer School Program.
Mr. Armstrong is here to fill us in on anything summer school wise.
That's right. You have the narrative, I think, in your board packet. So, just like to draw attention to a couple of the items that are in it. The major change being, the high school offerings that we're looking at. Participation has taken a hit in the in-seat classes, and we've seen our virtual classes gain a lot of traction. So just asking around to some other districts. I know Amanda has talked to Dave over at Oak Grove. I talked to Green Valley, Blue Springs as well. Most of school districts around us, they're going to limited in-seat offerings. And one of the things that we would like to do then is offer our own virtual offerings rather than enrolling students in launch. And this would be just for the same core classes that we would offer, that we've traditionally offered in-seat. So the public speaking, the finance, the PE, the computer apps, and the health. We would continue to have in-seat credit recovery. Credit recovery students would continue to come on site for their work in their program. But that's probably the biggest change, and I think it's a needed direction for us. Like, I could give you the hard numbers. Last year, example, we had 17 kids in seat for public speaking, and virtually we had 52.
On that one specifically, I guess I'm trying to get my head around how effective public speaking is virtually.
They're gonna go over the same curriculum, and like, the way I've seen it done, at least, I mean, my own kid that did it, they have to give their speech. You have to watch the speech, either it's a live or it's a recorded speech, and students then have to contribute to the message board, like give feedback on the speech, just like they would sitting in a classroom. And so, actually, kids tend to do a little bit better with the public speaking because it's not standing there in front of their friends. It's a recorded session that they're doing, or it's during a live Zoom, and just that, I guess that screen does help them with that piece. Going just a few other things. Computer apps, we had 14 students in seat, 23 virtual, 15 health, 27 virtual health, personal finance 12, 41 virtual personal finance students.
How do they do PE virtually?
That's going to be the creative thing that we're going to take on that task and decide how that platform's going to look for us.
I mean, you can do yoga, I know, and watch it.
With launch, they're given a device like a Garmin Fitbit that they have to wear, and their heart rate has to be over a certain amount for X amount of time during the day. But they also have to videotape them. There's classroom assignments that they do for PE, just like regular nutrition, fitness type questions. They have to read an article, they have to respond to the article, those kind of things. And then they have to record themselves. I know with launch, they have to record themselves doing push-ups. They have to they have to take a screenshot of either a device, their phone, a treadmill where they've run a mile, and I think sit-ups, push-ups, and the mile. They have to do.
With technology, I guess that's possible.
It is, and so I think that's going to be after hopefully approval. I think the next step is identifying those teachers that want to take on. Most of our classes already have the curriculum on a Google Classroom, right? And so it's just going to be pacing that out for a condensed 20-day session, right? I mean, because that's basically what we're doing during summer school. We're taking a semester worth of information and we're putting it into 20 days, which is what we're doing when we're doing in-seat. I think it provides a lot of flexibility for our high school students that they're showing us they're doing it anyway. I mean, they're navigating away from in-seat to this. Another thing I think that would be helpful, especially doing this in-house, is providing an Odessa R-VII face to these students. Right now, it's somebody at launch that they don't know, and so we do have some students that aren't as successful, and I think they would be more successful having, one of our teachers' faces as their person, you know? So it would kind of go under, they would still have contracted school hours, they would still have to push out assignments, they would have to grade assignments, they would have to be available for questions, be able to meet virtually. We've talked about, for example, a special education student, if they needed some assistance, they could come up to the school and sit with someone, because we would still have a special educator that would be providing accommodations and modifications for kids. So some of that's still available for those students. And then the traditional K through 6 programming that we've offered from the past. So.
These 5 that are now all virtual, we were, I guess, years prior, were we doing the same with both options?
Yeah, no, well, yes and no. I mean,
Virtual was through launch.
yeah, we've been offering it through launch. And just over the years, an example would be, we used to be able to fill up 2 sections of personal finance in seat. I mean, we would have 20 to 26 students in seat, so having, you know, anywhere between 40 and 50 students in seat for personal finance, in seat for health, in seat for computer apps. And last year we had a session of 17 for personal finance, right? And then that same teacher turned around and did a session of, I can't remember, public speaking, you know, was pretty much the same students. So we would continue to offer outside of those core or those graduation required classes that we've been traditionally offering. We would still offer Launch Up for students that were taking some of those programs that aren't in our just program, our curriculum program really. So we have students that take driver's ed, for example. There are some students that do CTE class stuff and they have to take maybe an ELA class or a chemistry class over the summer, and we'd still offer those through Launch. That's not something we would try to develop for us either.
How are our teachers paid doing virtual summer school? Is it extra duties?
Yeah, well, they would be getting paid if they were seated as well.
It's the same as seated pay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we haven't determined exactly, you'll know what that pay is before we're still having those discussions, whether the pay, how same or different it is.
Okay.
There's a little bit of front load work those high school teachers are gonna have to do just to get the platforms up and running, you know, and ready to roll day 1 of summer school. So there is gonna have to be a little work prior to summer school that they're gonna have to put in to get that going. But once summer school starts, it's kind of like a traditional classroom day for them.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve summer school, May 20th through June 17th.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Answering all the questions. Food service equipment.
Dr. Fay.
Okay, in your packet, you saw that there is some equipment in need of replacement, multiple items for the high school and middle school. Some of those have been repaired, the aging equipment, it's time for replacement. So received quotes back from 3 companies. You see 5 bids there ranging from $30,000 to $47,000. The recommended bid from Arctic Food Equipment at $35,551.54 is what we believe to be the best price based on manufacturer, size of the equipment, customer service, warranty. The biggest difference, like in the 2 Arctic bids that you notice, is the brand of the equipment. Warranty, you know, a 1/3 horsepower motor or a 1/4 horsepower motor instead of a 1/2 horsepower motor in a fridge. Just for the needs that we have, we need the bigger, stronger equipment, as well as feedback we got from some other districts on warranty and customer service of some of those other brands as well, is what led us to that particular company and that bid. Any questions? Be glad to answer.
No questions, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of the food service equipment from Arctic Food Equipment.
Second.
All in favor? And that will conclude the meeting tonight. I'll need a motion to conduct an executive session, including any record or vote at the next scheduled meeting, pursuant to statutes contained in chapter 610.024.
Second.
All in favor? Now, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Roll call.
Aye.
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 And